or some people are willing to take when they use these things.
So now that you've sort of trodden the journey of academia and you've been through the years of PhD work, like what sort of lessons have you learned as well about sort of academia and research and that sort of postgraduate life? Like I mentioned earlier on that we get quite a lot of students that are interested in knowing more about sort of drug academia and getting involved in the world. And so, are there things that you've learned along the way, or guidance or recommendations as well that you might even have for young researchers that want to get involved in drugs and cannabis research? It's obviously becoming quite a lot more open, and it's something that can be quite well researched now. So are there any, how do you feel about it? Are you traumatized? Have you enjoyed it? Or where you're up to emotionally with it now as well?
Well, I'm happy that it's done. I'm happy it's finished. It took maybe longer than I originally expected, partly also because of the realities of academia. Like of the 7 years that I did my PhD, half of those years were funded by some sort of scholarship that I managed to get. I'm not saying that my kind of percentage of like sending funding applications and actually getting them is very high, but luckily I managed to get a few of them. I think what one needs most is perseverance. Just kind of like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And academia, and for instance, publishing academically, it's a long journey. Sometimes I think one of my articles took like 3 years to get it published, and you have to be able to receive critique. Of course, that's part of it. Like if you send it for peer review, they're not there to be your friends. They're there to like make sure that the quality is good enough so that you can get pretty not nasty comments, but like, you work really hard on something, you think like, oh, this is great, but then the feedback might be something quite else.
A little harsh.
Yeah, sometimes. But also, like, I mean, I've been on the other side as well. Like I did, I was an editor for one special issue for Drugs and Alcohol Today. So like also, finding good reviewers is difficult, and it's this whole academic publishing world is also kind of weird because nobody really gets paid for doing this, reviewing or even submitting your work. So it is kind of strange world in a way, because you have to rely on people doing this on their own free time sometimes, and you hope that they still put the effort to kind of provide you with good comments. But I mean, I don't think it's, if people think, oh, I wonder if I'm smart enough to be a PhD. I mean, if you manage to get into university, you're probably smart enough. So it's like, it's not just about your intelligence necessarily. It's like perseverance and just, sticking with it. I mean, I was lucky, in a way that it was really my own PhD project that I could, if I wanted to, like, okay, this is now an area that I want to look into more, and so I could. So it wasn't something that was told to me like, okay, now these are the tasks that you need to do. So I was in a way lucky that I can do my own project that was really like, it was interesting. So it was like, it was in that way easy to keep with as well.
If it's something you're passionate about, it's a lot easier now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that if you didn't enjoy what you were doing, you'd have done it for 7 years and stuck with it. So, great piece of advice, Aleksi. Thank you.
I mean, what happens now? I mean, now I haven't graduated now, so like it would make sense to continue in academia, and I am working on a small project now, mostly about wine, actually. And then looking at what's out there, but also like, I mean, of course, there's research that could be done indeed outside of academia as well. And I mean, these drugs, most of them are indeed becoming at least medicalized in a way that there's more research into the medical properties, and there's psychedelic companies listed in the stock markets and all that kind of stuff that wasn't there 10 years ago. So I think there's a lot more opportunities as well if you want to research or somehow be in part of this this field. And it doesn't really matter like what's your background or what's your discipline. I think you can approach these things from every kind of imaginable academic discipline, from history to psychology to medicine to neuroscience to anything basically.